You're listening to The Sizzle.
The Sizzle in the building. You know who's in the building. He's Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. You know what we come to do all the time is off the stove. Jay, how are you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. It's almost turkey day. I got a turkey in the oven and a spare turkey on the side. So I'm double turkeying right now. I'm ready to go.
Okay, so you're rocking with 2 turkeys. Now,
Yeah.
what's the key to this 2-turkey deal? How do you work this out?
See, you have one turkey you take and one turkey you live at home. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
then I had the traditional new Thanksgiving Eve dinner, which is pizza. You know, because you can't cook nothing because everything's being cooked. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
right now in Fat Man's heaven, and you know, it's better than Christmas. Thanksgiving for a big guy is a good time.
Okay, so you're in Fat Man heaven.
Yeah.
I know somebody who's not in heaven, Jay, and that's Justin Fields. He's not in heaven right now. It's a lot of stuff going on with Justin. It's not good. It's not looking good for him. But I mean, it's not, the prognosis is not dire. It's not grim. So let me refrain from hyperbole.
Which prognosis you talking about?
Well, the prognosis that I don't know if this is going to get any better for Justin this season, and probably it might be time for him to take a break for a while.
First, it was a separated shoulder, then it was a dislocated shoulder, then it's a this, and it's a that, and
yeah,
he gonna play, he's not gonna play. We're gonna sit him out. We're gonna start him up.
You know,
somebody needs to make a decision.
That's all I'm saying is just figure out what you're gonna do, and let's stick with what you're gonna do. Look, can we do that? Just figure out what it is you want to do.
Here's the problem: Getsy and all of them have changed. Eberflus have changed their whole offensive scheme to fit Justin Fields. Now, what do you do if Justin Fields out? Are you running Trevor Siemian? You gonna run him for 14 plays? I don't think so. So now you got to go back and reinstall the original offense. This is the problem, that this offense was never designed for Justin Fields, but they created an offense for him, and they finally got him up ready to go. But now you have a backup who can't run the offense. Not that it really matters for the Chicago Bears, because they're going to get beat regardless because of this defense. But question is right now, if you're going to run Justin Fields in this type of offense, you better go get another backup quarterback who can run this. That's the whole issue. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Either Justin Fields is your guy, and you're going to go get another guy like Justin Fields, and you're going to put him back there to back him up, or you're going to get Justin Fields to play a regular, conventional game, which I think that's where the Bears are trying to go at some point in time.
Yeah, I think it's got to move more to a conventional style of play. But Jay, let's go back. Let's take a step back and let's look over week 11 and what we saw, what was good, what was bad. One of the greatest things about week 11 was the connection between Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. It's still the same thing. It's still the same groove they've got. They're in sync. They're in lockstep, and they look like a Super Bowl contender right now.
Tight ends are everything. You know, if you can get your tight end coming up the seam, that opens up your outside. So right now, are they missing the cheetah? Absolutely. But until somebody figures out a way to put some type of handle on Travis Kelce, because he's too big to put in a nickel back on, and he's too fast to put a linebacker on him. So somehow or another, they're going to have to figure out how to keep him from sneaking up the seam, because that's where they're killing him at. And you got Patrick Mahomes who can extend plays. You know, he has the best arm angle of any quarterback in the league right now. That's including Aaron Rodgers. He's just a guy who can get the ball out. He knows the offense. He knows where he's going. And, you know, this is who we will hope Justin Fields turns out to be.
Yeah, I think if you look at it and protract it and just give him a little time, I don't know how much time he's going to need, but a little time to get going, Justin can get going. But one person who had it going, the power rankings say the number 2 team in the NFL this past week from week 11 was the Philadelphia Eagles. Jay, they got back on track, got back on the winning track. Tough loss to the Commanders. One that I thought I didn't see coming. Now, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I just took the whole thing wrong. But the
Yeah.
one thing I am looking at is Philly's back in position. Are they headed for a showdown with the Chiefs for the championship?
Well, I mean, we look at the Eagles right now as being a team who has everything. This is the best team that we've seen the Eagles put together in a long time. And you have a quarterback right now who's playing well above what he was capable of. This is a guy that most people thought should have been out of the league a couple of years ago. You know, I was one of them. I stand corrected. Jalen Hurts has been putting the hurt on people right now, but the big hurt that they have been putting on is because that defense has been fantastic. It's been fantastic. Now, it's hard to go 17-0. We knew that probably wasn't going to happen, but they still been playing top-notch football with the target on their back. And we see Jalen Hurts has not made huge faux pas as the season is went along. So it's been a good situation for the Eagles, but we're still only a little bit past halfway now of this season. There's still a long way to go, but they still stay on this track. They're going to be the team to meet later on in championship time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot going on in week 11, but you had some games that were a little bit closer than I think people thought they should be. Buffalo and the Browns, a little bit too close for people. Buffalo won 31-23 over the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore 13 over the Carolina Panthers at 3,
Yeah.
which you thought that was going to be a little bit, I guess, more of a unbalanced game because you thought the Ravens were going to come in and just do work. And it didn't go that way. And the Detroit Lions upset the New York Giants.
Detroit's not a super bad football team. I mean, they proved that against the Bears. They played well against the Bears. And they forged back and came back on the back end, even though they know the Bears have a bad defense. The team I'm surprised about, though, is those guys way up north up there in the cold tundra up there. They allowed that Tennessee Titan team to come in there and put the foo fops on them. What is going on with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers?
Well, you know, this is the question that's been asked time and time again. What goes on with the Packers? What are they actually doing? And then you're kind of at this weird impasse when it comes to them. We talk about a lot of the teams. One of the teams which is fighting its way back into contention is the Washington Commanders. Now, I know it sounds, it's a little funny to think the Commanders who won 23-10 over the Texans is a great game, but it gives you a lot of insight into what's going on in DC as they're getting ready to make that push. Now, again, it's still kind of difficult for me to come up with Commanders. It's something about it just doesn't flow.
Well, I mean, you think about these other team names. There's some other bad team names out here too. Mm-hmm. You know, Seahawks are relatively tough. But they will come and take your sandwich out your hand.
Yes, they will assault you. They will assault quickly.
And you got a Charger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like, oh, okay, And then remember when Tennessee named their team the Titans? Remember that? Now we're just like, well, it's okay now.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right. So again, you had some games closer than they were supposed to be. Philly 17 over the Colts at 16. I still can't call that. So kudos. It's a moral victory for the Colts fans, but it's still a loss in the ledger for them where they went down. We're going to talk about the Falcons 27 over the Bears 24.
Look at the Patriots. The Patriots still went up in there and still owning the Jets. I think they have like a 14 to 15 game win streak against the Jets. Jets can't figure out a way to beat the Patriots. Bill Belichick is still pulling it off. I don't know how he's doing it up there because they literally have a high school JV team playing up there.
And it's so crazy. It is like it's a I don't know what to call it right now, what's going on with the Jets. Now, the Jets are going to be the Bears' next opponent, but one of the things that's been talked about is the poor play of Zach Wilson, the very poorest play of Zach Wilson. And now they're already questioning, is this the guy? Maybe we need to move on and get somebody else.
Young quarterbacks, we know most of these guys come in the league and they're going to struggle. Most of these guys do not get their – look at the kid up at the Bills. Mm-hmm. He wasn't tearing it up. He wasn't tearing it up the first couple of years he got in. He started getting it together. So a lot of it has to be, are you going to build this offense around that quarterback? Are you going to try to highlight what they do the best? And the main thing is that can they not have unnecessary turnovers? That's the biggest issue. If we can stop throwing the football, if a young quarterback can just stop throwing the ball to another team, that helps out the cause. We got to see if Zach Wilson's going to be able to do that, because these NFL defenses are no joke out there. They screw up. Even the top flight quarterbacks get fooled. And especially these young quarterbacks midway through the season, there's so much tape on them right now that they know what they like to do. They got people, all they do is sit down and go step by step. He steps here. When he's looking downfield, his feet face this direction. They know exactly what he's doing, so they bait him into bad throws. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you start seeing the veteran quarterbacks know about that film study, and they start setting up guys, and they'll make a movement. And defensive back, you'll see him drive on a route because you think he's going to throw that under, and obviously you see that slug and he's up the sidelines.
Right. So you wonder what, as you're looking and doing a lot of film study, you're wondering what are the things, the keys that the young quarterbacks are looking at. And it's leading you to think some of them aren't getting the coaching they need. But I don't know.
Think so. I don't think that's the case. Okay. I just think the NFL is the best football league in the world. These are all the best coaches and the best players in the world. You are going to get food out here. These guys, all they do is eat, sleep, football. That's all they do, especially these assistant coaches. They don't even go home 3 days out the week. True. They're sleeping on cots, and they're up 20 hours a day. Right. So these are just the best coaches and best players in the world. And they're going to figure out a way to beat you, because their whole existence is to win on Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. That's their whole existence. Mm-hmm. Their livelihood depends on that. Are they going to feed their children? Depends on if they win on Saturday or they win on Sunday. You know, it's not about these coaches not knowing what they're doing. It's just you have coaches who there's different levels of chess. You know, sometimes, you know, you have masters, but even the masters in chess can beat. So I don't think it's a case of these coaches not knowing. You don't become a professional NFL coach and not know what you're doing. You just don't. I mean, there's too many coaches out here. I mean, you look at coaches everywhere. Alabama, SC. You mean, you know, those guys don't know what they're doing either? Yeah, they know. Those guys don't know schemes. Yes, they know schemes. They know schemes. And they can spit schemes out all day long. But the problem is that you're going against the best of the best. They're going to get it figured out. It's like Top Gun every day. It's like you flying up against Maverick every day when you go out here and play the NFL on Sunday.
Yeah, and the late games really is where a lot of what we're talking about, a lot of the surprise, a lot of the, hey, guess what just happened? It happened in those late games. You had Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, which Cincinnati won 37-30 over Pittsburgh.
But I mean, are we like? Well, I mean, the whole thing about it is you see Pittsburgh has been not on very steady ground lately. We've seen them, you know, they jettisoned Claypool. Claypool could have helped him out. Now, for whatever reasons, they were not happy with Claypool or something else going on inside the locker room. I'm assuming that, because why would you let that type of wide receiver go? Well, wide receivers are a premium in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, a guy like that, 6'4", can run, can catch the football. That guy is not good enough for you to play. Now, was his attitude not where it needed to be? Maybe so. Maybe he was a cancer in the locker room. Maybe he was. But you've seen a lot of teams, including the Tampa Bays and everybody else like that. If you can catch the football, Antonio Brown, there's a place for you to play. Odell Beckham, there's a place. Well, he's not in the league right now. But Odell Beckham, all these guys like that who have been a little bit of a problem, quote unquote, they always find a place to go to in the league.
Right. It's always somewhere where you can fit in. It's somewhere where you'll get your spot in. But two of the other games that were before the Sunday night game, when that comeback win for the Chiefs, it was Vegas and Denver, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was an overtime game. The Raiders finally pick up a win. I don't know what's going on in Denver right now, but it's not good. Whatever it is, it's not good. But what is good is that the Dallas Cowboys went in and slapped up the Minnesota Vikings. And when I say slapped up, 40-3, they slapped up the Vikings. And does that, Jay, now kind of throw everything in a different light for the Cowboys? Are you actually looking at them and saying they may have everything it takes to
Well, you saw Prescott go over 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what you expected out of him. But that's the output that they need from Dak Prescott. They need that output game in and game out. He has to be the guy now. There can't be no off days for Dak Prescott. He can't go out here, throw for one tutty, and throw for 160 yards and think the Cowboys are going to pull this off. That's not what's going to happen. Everybody's going to have to play at their highest potential for the Cowboys to win. But you saw what they did against the Vikings. They kept Kirk Cousins only had 105 passing yards. They kept him in check. Right. This is a guy who's not a slouch. Kirk Cousins is not a slouch by any shape or mean. So you're looking at a team right now who's playing pretty well, but can they keep it up? That's the whole question.
Yeah, it's the question of can you keep it with Dak? It's consistency, and I haven't seen the consistency needed to say they're a championship squad. But on any given Sunday or any given Tuesday or even Thursday or any given Monday, the Cowboys look like world beaters and they look unstoppable. They have a strong run game, good receivers, nice tight ends, and an excellent front line.
Well, they had a balanced attack all day. You saw Zeke with 2 touchdowns. They were scoring literally every quarter that they were in. They were scoring. Mm-hmm. So the scoring was balanced. Dak was in control. Are the Vikings just not that good of a team, or was Dak and the Cowboys just that much more dominant? But the question is, can they keep pulling off this type of output? Mm-hmm. Because they're going to need to put it out. Zeke's going to have to run the football. We can't have Zeke getting gimped up. We can't have Michael Parsons. I think he got a couple of sacks this game. We can't have Michael Parsons standing out there on an island by himself just spinning around because he doesn't know, because nobody blocks him now. He doesn't know where to go. Right. So we got to get that figured out for the Dallas Cowboys. But again, are you going to put your bottom dollar on the Dallas Cowboys to win an NFC championship?
No, sir. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. As much as I like Zeke and as much as I like what Dak does, I can't put my money on it. I can't say that's a good wager. It might be good for somebody. It's just not good for me.
Unless you get that FanDuel money, right. And also FanDuel, they throw you extra $50. Like, yeah, bet this.
Right.
It's always funny about FanDuel and all those sites. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER Anonymous, and we're gonna shut your thing off. You can do all types of stuff. But if you got an addiction to gambling, you're not doing none of that. You're just gonna gamble.
Right. How do you get a gambler to stop gambling while he's gambling?
Right. That's like telling a fat kid to stop eating cake and he's at the bakery. What is he supposed to do?
A buffet. The buffet bakery.
It'd be a problem. If I was around cinnamon rolls all day long, it'd be a problem.
Now thinking about it, now I've gotten extra hungry. And I like a cinnamon roll right about now. Thank you, sir. Ooh, I'm glad you. Yeah, well, the thing we got to get to is the last game of Week 11 was 49ers Cardinals. There was no Kyler Murray, and there was no offense for the Cardinals. Now, was doing his thing, but everything else.
Could I ask a question, though?
Yes, sir.
How come all the 49ers, how come all our Latino brothers are with the 49ers? Why is that?
All right, man. So it's come up before that the Monday night game was a little bit of cultural appropriation going on. Did you see anything wrong with the coverage of the Festa Viva La 49ers Cardinals?
No, I sort of dug that they put on the ESPN the sports announcer on there. I thought he was going to say go. I thought he was going to do that. But I thought it was cool. Look, I think at some point in time they're going to figure out how to put a team somewhere. Mm-hmm. So either it's going to be in London or it's going to be in Mexico, one of two places, because they're close enough to play in. So it's going to be somewhere. You're going to see a team down there within the next 3 or 4 years. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an expansion team that's going to go somewhere. And so they're going to figure it out. They're going to play 2 games here and 2 games over there, probably to cut down some of the traveling. But beyond that, you're going to see, you're going to see the Italian Coliseums out there, something's going to be playing, some team.
I mean, I'm looking at the Cardinals now. Props to Jimmy Garoppolo for throwing 4 touchdowns, having a really good day, but the Cardinals are not where they should be. and tell me if I'm wrong, Jay. The thought was this year coming in, the Cardinals were going to be a contender, and it
Kyler
looks
Murray's
like
got to stay
they're a
upright.
contender right now.
Kyler Murray's got to stay upright. He's got to stay upright. He's got to play at a high level. This is what I've been saying the entire time. Everybody, oh, you don't like these quarterbacks. Oh, you don't like Justin Fields. No, that's not the case. You must play at a high level every day. There are no Mickey Mouse teams in the NFL anymore. To win this champ, nobody's sneaking up and winning the championship. You know, you got to come and bring it all year long. Ain't nobody that's going to get hot all of a sudden, sneak into the playoffs, and they're going to come in as a dark horse and go, oh, my God, nobody saw him coming. No, everybody sees you coming in the NFL. That's why you see all these big trade deadline moves and everybody trying to get everybody who they can right now. You saw the 49ers load up and get Christian McCaffrey, you know, because they needed help in that backfield. That opens up Jimmy G now because you have to honor play action. If you don't honor play action with Christian McCaffrey, he is going to rip you apart. If you don't send out somebody out there to cover him, he's going to eat your linebackers up in space. So this is a guy when they're faking anything to number 23, then you know number 10 then has a free look downfield. And if Jimmy G coming behind Tom Brady out of the Patriots, you know he knows how to read defenses. And you can rest assured if he's been sitting in that room with Tom Brady for 6 or 7 years, he knows how to get the ball where it needs to go. Jimmy G just needs some time, and all of a sudden he looks like a world beater. Throw the ball. The question is now, once certain quarterbacks start feeling better, is Jimmy G going back sitting on the sidelines?
One of the greatest enigmas right now is what's going to happen in 49ers land with their QB situation. They look stable right now. Hopefully this can continue, but we'll see once we move further. But moving into week 12, Jay, we got some quick games coming up on the docket. Some interesting games, actually. You got the Bills at the Lions. Always your Thanksgiving Day game. The Lions host somebody.
Why? Why do they do that? Why do we have to keep doing that? Why do the Lions have to? Why did Dallas have to? Why? I don't want that tradition anymore. Give me good teams. I mean, I just Dallas is going to be a good game, but I kind of want. Who wants to sit through Detroit?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about.
We got what? Patriots, Vikings.
It's the early game, so hopefully by the time you get back and get from wherever you were doing early in the morning, that Bills-Lions game will be off, and then you'll move into Giants and Cowboys.
Giants-Cowboys will be a good game.
That should be a nice game. And then the nightcap is Patriots-Vikings.
That'll be a snoozer.
That's going to be an interesting – after a bad loss, can the Vikings come back and be strong? Or will the Pats defense try and hold them and do some things? I don't see how they can do it, but maybe. No.
No, I'll have gravy on my shirt by that time. It really won't matter.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. So on the docket for week 12, got a lot of games. It's a lot of volleying. It's a lot of up and down. One of the games I think that's going to be very interesting is Falcons Commanders. Not that it's going to be a great game, but positioning is going to be key in this game, where you see if the Commanders win, they have a decided advantage being a wild card spot. But if the Falcons win, they will cement their place and maybe go on to get into the playoffs with a bye. So it's really, I don't know. I really don't know what to look forward to, because I used to look forward to like Steelers games, Colts games, which is the Monday night, which is going to be Colts and Steelers, which I don't think anybody wants to see. I don't even think the parents of the players want to see that game.
You know what, though? I sort of like Saturday down there, he's going to rally the Colts up. They're going to play hard. Newbie's going to be mad. So, that's what's going to be.
Then you got Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, you got Rams Chiefs, which was supposed to be a preview of what's to come. And as you can see, the Rams have a preview of what's to come. It's nothing. Nothing's coming from them.
Yeah, that's been super surprising that the Rams have been playing the way they've been playing. But Hopefully there'll be a little turnaround on the back end, but you know how quickly the mighty fall.
You know, it's funny. They have the worst starting record of any team that's gone to in 10 games that went to the Super Bowl. But it's that same, if you lose in the Super Bowl, you seem to fall off the cliff the next year. Now, maybe that stat doesn't hold true for everyone. I'm
Well, I
not
mean,
saying it's absolute, but it has a strong, you don't win, it's the end.
it's just one of those things, man. You got people not there, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, guys can't. You know, we don't have the pieces. All of a sudden, it's hard to win in the NFL. You're only 1 or 2 players away. You know, like as bad as we think the Bears defense is, they're only 1 or 2 players away.
Yeah.
You know, change here, and all of a sudden they're good. So it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for you to get bad in the NFL, and we see that happen to the Rams real quick.
Yeah. So 2 games that are going to be really interesting. Noon game, Bengals Titans should be a good playoff game. You should be able to see some things. But one of the games I'm going to be really interested in is Packers Eagles. The Packers will be at the Eagles for the Sunday night game.
Oh, beat down coming.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly. They've been waiting for this one. They have been waiting to get Aaron Rodgers weak. And he just had this barely over 200 total offensive game that they just came off of, where they just got boot whacked out there. Can you get boot whacked? Is that a word?
Well, we'll find out. I think Sunday night we'll see a boot whacking.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a proverbial beat. Where are they playing at yeah, well, okay, it's going to be bad. I mean, Philadelphia is probably one of the worst places to play anyway, and I just think this is going to be bad quick.
I would give them the heads up. I would say maybe it could be neutral if the Packers were playing in Lambeau. But
no, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, the Packers just don't have it this year. I mean, they just don't have it. They don't have the wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers running for his life back there, and now all of a sudden he's decided that I'm going to die. He's just trying to survive. You know, hope he don't mess his haircut up. Is he getting his Is he getting his eyebrows waxed too? I think I sort of saw that.
I don't know what's going on.
He's got some different color going on in his hair. He got all types of Dalai Lama comes stopping by the locker for the game. You know.
I mean, he had that Nicolas Cage thing going on earlier. Then he had the grunge look, and he always looks like he's in character for a commercial. Like he should be on a State Farm commercial.
You know what's weird? He always looks like Aaron Rodgers playing a part of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? He always looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yes.
When he doesn't dress like regular Aaron Rodgers, he always looks weird. But he's that dude though. He's sort of that grimy, sort of moody type of guy. You know, from what I hear, rumor has it, he doesn't get along with his family too well either.
I mean, what is his style? Really, when you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's vacillated from everything from grunge to porn star to nice clean cut. I don't know what is the Aaron Rodgers look. I'm confused.
Who was the last chick he was going out with after Danica Patrick?
She was some model. It was
she got his whole head twisted up. she got him out there sleeping on the hip mattresses and all types of stuff going on, and making sure all his chakras are in alignment, and you know.
Well, his chakras haven't been in alignment, and he's got to hope that there's no one named Chakra who plays for the Eagles.
Whoa.
Because we know that there's a Sue. There's an Ndamukong Suh, my friend.
Man, you know what? He's like the hired bully.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, be back. Oh, there you go. Oh, Ndamukong, come here, man. I'll give you a candy bar and a Snickers if you would just go ahead and be my buddy for the day. All right. You know.
It doesn't seem fair that Philly can keep doing it, but hey, if you can keep doing it, do it. Sign everybody you can.
Bring it.
Didn't the Buccaneers do it last year?
This the year to do it. But like I told you, all across sports right now, you have to have super teams.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that wasn't really a super team that won it this year was the Astros. They're just flat out good all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you that. Now that one, as you watch it more and more, you're seeing the combination of super teams or having super players seems to work but we're looking at someone who is not working, and it's not super, because it hasn't been too much of anything. And that's what's going on in Bearland. So you've got the Bears and the Jets coming up. Bears and Jets. I would think that this would be the time maybe the Bears start to rethink some things as they go forward. But we're going to play a clip, and I'm going to let you listen to Justin Fields. And then once we finish with that, we'll come back and kind of chop it up, see where we stand right now when it comes to Justin Fields and where his injury stands at the moment.
They're still looking in further detail. Yeah, it was the first play of the last drive. I don't even know what happened, to be honest with you. I think I just landed on it or something like that. So, yeah, I was just hurting after that. Prior to that, there were times when you were stretching out your hamstrings? Yeah, I was cramping pretty much the whole fourth quarter, so just fighting through cramps and stuff like that. You mentioned earlier this year that you had a shoulder, the left shoulder that was bothering you. This is a new and different thing, right? Yeah, new and different. I'm not sure yet. Just going to take it day by day.
So we're going to take it day by day, Jay. When it comes to Justin, he doesn't know. I don't know. Nobody seems to know.
He's not playing.
But I know it doesn't look good.
You see how the way he's sitting right there when he was leaning over?
Yeah,
you
he's
see that?
leaning, favoring the shoulder.
He's cockeyed up there, right?
Mhm.
That shoulder's killing it right now. They're going to hit it with some cortisone. Here's my problem, though. All right, you already got the kid hurt, right? Why are you still running him at the end of the game?
Okay, so let's walk through that. Let's walk through that last segment. Your last drive to go up and win this game, you started with 2 quarterback runs. Not one. No. One wasn't good enough. You had to do 2 back-to-back quarterback runs. And Justin gets hit going out of bounds. I don't know, Jay. Do you think that Justin's not getting the respect from the refs when he's getting hit hard?
No. He's not getting respect because the Bears know they can't sit him in the pocket and he can deliver the football downfield. Mm-hmm. If you have a quarterback that's hurt, why are you running him, number one? But you know why you're running him? Because you're trying to win this football game. So you're doing the thing he does best. What is the thing that he does best? Is run the football. Apparently so, because he's set records, greatest running quarterback of all time, last 4 games, 2 million yards of rushing plus passing, 4 touchdowns this, 4 touchdowns. But when they needed him to throw the football downfield, they decided not to. Let's risk another injury to him. Mm-hmm. You know he's fragile.
I'm not going to say he's fragile.
He's fragile.
No, he's not fragile. No,
look,
no.
He's a tough kid.
There are a lot of fragile Bears quarterbacks. He's not one of them.
He's a tough kid who's too tough for his own good. He goes out there. He slides late. His slide is still crappy. You know, he needs a slide earlier. He's going to get tattooed. And now, at least this time, he didn't get tattooed. His first tattoo wasn't when he was running the football. So I can't necessarily say, look at what happened. But looky here. When they had to throw the football downfield, right? What did they do? They ran him. No, you throw the football there. You throw the football. And then he bounced one off of Montgomery where he should have been able to put that ball on him. Right? And then you had a wide open Claypool. Wide open.
I think that's the biggest. It's not so much, and I'm going to defend him to that point. There is no fragileness to this young man. He is more, he tries to stick in there and be tougher than he should be at times. But one thing I will say is his vision to see open receivers has not been good.
Let's get some understanding, right? This kid has rushed for 834 yards this season, and we're barely halfway through.
That's right.
834 yards he has rushed for.
This young man has a pair of cleats in his second year in Canton right now. He has his cleats are sitting in Canton right now.
Now, he's completed less than 60% of his passes.
That he has.
I don't think he's had a game over 200 yards yet, has he? Or is it a third game?
No, not over 200. No.
Okay.
Close to it.
When they needed him to throw, they decided to let him run. This is what I've been saying to you the whole time. You're not going to win in this league with this quarterback in this type of scheme because he's going to get beat up.
Well, wait,
We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen before.
But okay, he didn't call the play.
No, he didn't call a play.
He
But
didn't call the play. He didn't call two running plays back to back.
And this is what I'm saying to you. Exactly right. So why did they call two running plays? They went to the best thing he does best is run the football. They didn't go to his bread and butter, which is throwing the football. It was running the football.
Well, the bad part is if they went to that bread and butter, obviously then somebody wasn't watching the game because the Falcons made an adjustment in the second half. Justin was not getting any zones. He looked tired. He was getting hit. He was not going to be able to do. That front line of the Falcons didn't allow him to do. And their linebackers were coming from everywhere. Once you saw one of their linebackers come off, he scraped off the back, came off somebody's back pocket, and nobody saw him. Not the lineman, not the running back, not Justin Fields.
I think I was reading somewhere that Justin Fields has the most sacks of any quarterback in the NFL right now. Something like that, or most hits or something like that. Yeah. Can't keep taking a beating.
No, you can't keep taking a beating. So now the question is, what are you going to do moving forward to help? Because here's my biggest question, Jay. If you wanted, because it looks like this was a design. So tell me if I'm wrong, that this looks like a setup. It looks like a design that you
what are you talking about?
Where you made sure that you were so devoid of talent. Offensive line. I mean, you traded Charles Leno. And for anybody who thinks that Charles Leno isn't a great, I'm not great lineman,
he's not great. He's an average. He's an average NFL lineman, which is good.
That's good enough to have played for the Bears, and average enough where he didn't miss a game in 7 years. So you get rid of him to do what? Bring in a rookie from where? Where's Braxton Jones from?
Was he Texas Southern or something like that? I don't know. Somewhere down there.
Doesn't matter. I mean, was he a first-round pick? Was he a second-round pick?
No. And now, again, that was my whole thing about their picks early, right? Go get offensive linemen. That's what you needed. That's what you needed. That's what you still need. I mean, Tevin Jenkins is your best offensive lineman.
And if you keep playing and moving him around,
leave him in guard, leave him alone. Stop doing him. You did. Who's the other guy they jacked up like that when they moved him out to tackle? Long. Leave him alone.
They did Colombo like that too.
Yeah. If you're dominant at a position, let him be dominant at a position. Build around him. Leave Tevin Jenkins on the inside. He's a mauler on the inside. Leave him alone in there. The question is right now, is this offense that's been constructed for Justin Fields, is this the offense the Bears think they can win with? Because the Bears don't think they can win with this offense, they're going to change it and possibly change quarterbacks.
Possible. There's a big possibility. But what you're looking at right now, Jay, is you're looking at a young man who's not only fighting for his life, but he's fighting for survival in a system that for some reason now has 3 receivers that you could depend on. Mooney, Claypool, and I have no idea of what's going on with N'Keal Harry. I thought you were going to say Pringle. Oh, God, no. No, I would say St. Brown before I would say Pringle.
Oh, no. I would say two wide receivers then because I'm not putting St. Brown in that.
Well, okay, your third receiver is Cole Kmet.
No, he's a tight end. He don't count.
Oh, tight ends have to count. If that's the case, then Travis Kelce doesn't count.
They're tight ends. They're not wide receivers.
That's the case, then Travis Kelce
doesn't. Do you see tight ends going out of wide receiver? That's all I'd say. He's not a wide receiver.
Yes, I do. I see Travis Kelce do it all the time. They put him in the slot. They put him out in the Y. They put him in the Z. So they put him wherever they need to.
How often is he out there? 1 or 2 plays a game?
Enough to average right now
1 or 2
almost 100 yards per game.
But he's not playing wide receiver. and averaging 100 yards. But he's playing tight end. That's my point. You can put they put quarterbacks out there at wide receiver every once in a while.
They
Well,
put
who
running
cares?
backs out there.
Who
In
cares
fact,
about right? That's what I'm saying.
Montgomery wasn't he your third leading receiver in the game?
Something like that. So what I'm saying though is that you have Claypool and Mooney, who are your 2 and 3 wide receivers. They don't have a number 1 on this team right now.
That's true.
You should be able. Let's put the ball on somebody. But this is not Justin Fields' strong suit is throwing the football. Can he throw all the throws? Yes, he can. Is it a strong suit? No. No, and it showed. When they needed him to throw the football, he couldn't.
Well, you're going to have to figure out something. Because if you don't figure out something, he's going to be dead. This team is going to be wrapped up and clapped up, and it's going to be a bad situation. In fact, it's going to be so bad that it's going to look like another situation across town, which is what's going on right now with the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls, schizophrenic team, I can say at best. The consistency has not been there. You have one player that's missing, that's the linchpin to this whole thing. And now the question is, in the streets, are the Bulls secretly and quietly trying to rebuild? Is this what this is going to? But I don't think so after we saw a game like they put up against the best team in the league, which was the Celtics. In fact, we're going to look at a clip and then come back and talk about it, and you can tell me what you think.
Bulls reporter, the great Bulls reporter, Rob Schaefer is here. All right, so the Bulls ended the Celtics' 9-game winning streak. Something tells me that when I ask you this question, the answer is going to be yes. Was this the Bulls' biggest win of the season?
No question, Chuck. You look at the surrounding context. You mentioned the Celtics' 9-game winning streak. Best record in the NBA, reigning Eastern Conference champions. Bulls enter play on a 4-game losing streak with some non-competitive defeats in there. Lost to an inferior Orlando Magic team on Friday. This was a game that the Bulls needed to have, especially with a 6-game road trip that has your Milwaukee Bucks, Golden State Warriors level opponents on it. Last game at home for a few weeks against an elite opponent, teams that the Bulls struggled to beat last season. This was a massive, massive win, especially because of the way they did it. Wire to wire, dominant, a double-digit advantage for a lot of it. This wasn't a squeaker that the Bulls got some lucky breaks in. They beat the brakes off of the Celtics team.
All right, Celtics are 13-4. Half of their losses are to the Bulls. Yeah. So what is going on here? Why is this such a great matchup for the Bulls against the Celtics and a tough one for Boston against the Bulls?
I think there are a few factors. Obviously, the Celtics got off to a poor 3-point shooting start last night. You got to look at that. Bulls, probably their biggest defensive strength when they're on is forcing turnovers. This Boston team gets a little loose with the ball on occasion. We saw that in the playoffs last year. DeMar DeRozan has feasted against single coverage against this team, as great a stable of wing defenders as they have. And lastly, let's go to the board for this one, Chuck. Nikola Vucevic, who has gotten off to an underratedly strong start to the season, especially offensively for this Bulls team. He is a nightmare in this matchup for Boston. See Marcus Smart cross-matched onto him. The Celtics team switches a lot, smaller defender. This is where Vooch has made his bread and butter for the majority of his career. Draws help, such an adept passer, so good at recognizing where the open man is. Patrick Williams, top of the key, three-pointer.
So a lot of was going on, a lot to dissect, a lot to unpack, Jay. Bulls came up with a victory, very convincing victory. Probably could have been a little bit more. You seemingly got very little out of Zach LaVine, but you did get a more aggressive Patrick Williams. You get the Patrick Williams that you had hoped 2 years ago he was going to be. So the question is, Jay, is this a team that just needs time to work through this until Lonzo Ball gets back?
Lonzo Ball's not coming back.
Or is this team just it?
This is it. And I think you got a Celtics team who just looked past them a little bit. They're on a 9-game win streak. They played tired. They didn't look like they were really over, even though you had some good scoring going across, 28-23 going across Tatum. You had Brogdon making a little bit of comeback, playing a little well. But again, this is a 120-point-a-game league. 107 points ain't going to win it for you. Mm-hmm. Not going to win it for you. So, you had high turnovers going on, like the reporter was saying. They do get loosey-goosey with the basketball. And, you're going to lose some games. You're just going to lose some games. I think Chicago was just comfortable playing against the Celtics.
Yeah, I think so. I think they found one of the things we talked about earlier today. We were talking about how they match up well against the Celtics. And shout out to Chicago Sports Net and Rob Schaefer for that clip. It's just a lot of what was going on. The fact that the Celtics don't have anyone at the center position. And even if you say that they're going to get Robert Williams back, it is still their weakness. They were switching, and those switches were getting them caught. And it was giving Bulls players an opportunity. But the two players that I thought struggled the most out of this game, number one had to be Zach LaVine, and number two was Kobe White. Kobe White he's yet to find his footing right now, Jay. And I don't know what's going to help with Kobe White, but I do know one thing. It doesn't look like he adds a lot. If he's not hitting threes, I don't know what he adds to this team.
Kobe White is your guy coming off the bench. If he's hot, you leave him out there. If he's not, you go sit him back down. Mm-hmm. That's just who he is. He's inconsistent. You saw a Celtics team yesterday. I think they were shooting barely over 25% from the field in the first quarter. So, and the Bulls were only up 5 points in the first quarter. So that just shows you how really badly the Celtics were playing. The Bulls really didn't capitalize. I mean, they're only up 5 points. They should have buried the Celtics early. Question is that we know for a fact that you got to score points in this game, and the Celtics just didn't have it. It happens.
Right.
Now, are you going to say if the Celtics are number 2 and the Bulls somehow squeeze into the number 7 position, that you're going to take the Bulls in a postseason matchup against the Celtics?
No, I would think exposed to a 7-game series that the Bulls would. I can't see them being able to duplicate this.
Right.
Again
so let's not take this win out of context. It was one win. You see the tired Celtic team out there. They really weren't motivated to win this basketball game. You saw the Bulls just capitalize, and they scored 120 points. They beat the Celtics team who really decided they didn't feel like being there.
Yeah, it really looked like they were disconnected, disinterested, and even when they tried to turn it on, yes, they just didn't have the juice to go ahead and power through. But you've got a Bulls team that's got a hard schedule coming up. They have one of the hardest schedules in the league to this point. And to your point, without Lonzo Ball, I don't know where you take this team. I don't know what you can do with this team without Lonzo Ball. And I'll be one to say it, and maybe it sounds terrible. The Ball boys at this point, the two that are in the league don't seem that durable, and the one that's not in the league is probably more durable than the two that are.
Well, here's the thing about it. You got both those boys are super athletic for what they do. They're not I mean, Lonzo's probably the best in shape out of all of them, but injuries happen. We've seen that happen all through the league. I mean, you look at Zach LaVine, you look at a lot of top-notch players that get injured. I mean, it happens in the league. Michael Jordan went down with a foot injury. You look at Zion Williamson going down. You saw John Morant go down. So, I mean, stuff happens. People go out and this happens. But I think overall, I think you're going to see LaMelo is no joke. I'm pretty sure he's in the lab working on that jumper. LaMelo's jumper gets any more sugar on it, he's a whole problem. Plus, he gives up the ball. I don't know if Lonzo could just make it back. I feel bad for Lonzo because I think Lonzo was a catalyst for the Ball brothers, and I just think that athleticism that he had won't be there. And again, now he just becomes an average NBA player if he makes it back at all. So now you see a Chicago Bulls team right now who was really set up to make a run with those three, with Vucevic out there, and then they went to get Andre Drummond. You saw they did well on the boards against a Celtics team who has nobody on the inside right now. And the Bulls thought that they were going to be a better rebounded team and a better perimeter team, and you're going to have a slasher and playmaker for you in Ball. None of that is really coming through. Ball was the key to the Lamborghini. Lamborghini looks good, but if you ain't got no keys, you ain't pulling off the lot. Right now, you're better off with a bus ticket if you're going to get across town. This Lamborghini ain't going nowhere. If the Bulls slide into the playoffs, I'll be super surprised if that even happens. I'm waiting for the apathy bug to hit them as soon as a losing streak occurs, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing guys going to the training room, and that's going to be it.
Well, you have a lot to look at when it comes to the Bulls, but we'll see in the next 2 weeks how the Bulls fare as they get ready to go on a season-long 6-game road trip and we'll see where they stand as they come back. But one of the things as we get ready to wrap up, Jay, there's one thing we got to talk about.
Uh-oh.
And the biggest thing that's come to my attention, your attention, is that it's Thanksgiving time.
Oh,
It's
yes.
time for food, and it's time for wonderfulness.
Yes.
It's time for everything that we say is all good
Yes.
about the season.
Yes.
But there is one thing that's bad.
That's true.
Something, Jay, has to come off the table. There has to be something that has to come off the table.
Got it.
So what's your thing that has to come off the table on Thanksgiving?
As the bougie people call them, chitterlings. Chitlins got to come off. Chitlins. Why? Why are chitterlings there? They should not even be cooked on the same stove. Put the chitterlings somewhere else.
I saw a video of fried chitterlings.
No, those are cracklings. Don't come in a bag with hot sauce. And if y'all don't know anything about Jay's has the best cracklings ever, y'all don't know about that. Oh, those are cracklings, sir. I mean, they serve with hot sauce, and you eat them out of a plastic bag. You don't put them on your plate all wrinkly with nothing. You got to pour 15 gallons of hot sauce on them, and you're like, don't understand it.
Well, my one thing that's got to come off the table for me, has to be dressing. It is the most useless thing in the world.
How dare you
is
speak?
The most useless side
Blasphemy.
in the lexicon of Thanksgiving.
Blasphemy.
It just has to come off the table. It has to stop. Not it dressing, stuffing, whatever else you want to say with little pieces of bread put in a pan and cooked. That is something that has to come off the table.
My father, I forgive him this day, Father, because he has blasphemed the Thanksgiving gods. Dress is the best thing on the table. What are you talking about? I'm a dressing connoisseur, sir. People make me an extra half pan of dressing to take home with me. You don't like dressing? Oh my God. But you're
great about dressing.
Dressing's fabulous, dude. Okay. You have a cornbread substance that is oozy goozy with chicken stock in there and onions and sage and garlic and everything else you put in there. And then it has a little crust along the side. It's fabulous. It's just you put a little gravy on top if you want. I'm not really a gravy guy, but you put a little bit on top if you want to. Dressing's fabulous, bro. What? So okay. So now what? Okay. Now what? If you don't have dressing on your table, let's hear this, y'all. What other staple do you have on your table?
Well, you have to have your main staples, which are going to be your turkey.
Watch him say mashed potatoes.
There are
watch him say mashed potatoes.
If you
watch him say mashed potatoes, he's going to say mashed potatoes.
One of the new staples on the table right now, the Thanksgiving table.
Don't do it.
Baked chicken.
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Baked chicken.
No, you're not having Thanksgiving dinner. You're having what's the chicken special on Tuesday night at Wingstop. That's what you having. You have a Wingstop. You're not having Thanksgiving. Nobody puts baked chicken out. How you gonna have baked chicken and turkey out there at the same time? You might as well have an omelet out there if you're gonna have all the chicken parts out there. What?
Why would you put an omelet on the table?
Because it's the same thing, right? Why you gonna have baked chicken and turkey out there at the same time?
You have to have, because you got a lot of people. You got to feed a lot of people, and everybody doesn't eat pork. So all the people who don't eat pork,
okay. So turkey and pork.
What?
Oh my goodness, he don't know how to do Thanksgiving, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. His take. And what else? Do you have green bean casserole?
No. God.
With the little onions in it. Oh,
green
so you
beans, but not green bean casserole.
You never had green. Okay, so you don't have green bean casserole. So now you're not traditional. What, you have pumpkin pie on your table?
Well, funny enough, everybody else is sweet potato pie. It doesn't make me any difference with pumpkin.
Okay. There's now
because I'm not a pie person. So if it's pumpkin or sweet potato tastes better. But if you have a pumpkin, I'm not mad at you. Go ahead, have your pumpkin.
Now it all comes out. Now it all comes out, sir. We don't have pumpkin pie on our table, sir. Sweet potato.
Okay.
Sweet potato.
Mhm.
So okay, all right. We see what you got going on already. You know what? you got mashed potatoes on your table too, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, you
no
do. Yeah, you
mashed
do.
potato. Now, what they do have is a lot of sweet potatoes. Now, that's going to be on the whole
Yeah, you
sweet
got to have sweet
potatoes.
potato. Candy sweets. Are you the baked sweet potato guy?
The candy sweets are the
Candy
best to
sweets are
me.
good. Okay.
But,
All right.
you know, you got to have a variety for those. So they
Oh,
all
no,
have.
we're not having a variety. We having Thanksgiving. Ain't no variety in Thanksgiving. Ain't them crying in baseball. We got turkey, we got dressing, we got the cranberry sauce. Oh, do you have? I'm sorry. Do you have the cranberry sauce with the little cranberries in it?
No, because the people at my house can't eat the little cranberries, so it has to be the non-cranberry sauce.
Talk about the one in the can with the little line still in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. We'll let you in the house now.
And you have to have some kind of muffin. You have to have a muffin on there.
Okay, okay, hold on now. What's up? Muffin? Hold on.
That's right.
Are we talking a roll? See, a roll different than a muffin.
No, I didn't say a roll. I said like a cornbread muffin.
No, that's what your dressing's for. See, you got it all mixed up. You just want a cornbread muffin, and I bet you got Jiffy Mix, don't you? Jiffy Mix.
Oh God, no. No, you know what? I stopped. I'll tell you the exact time I got off of stuffing was that, or cornbread, the terrible, whatever it was, man. Somebody made one year and left it out or put it on the table, and everybody got sick after eating that dressing. I don't mean one person. Everybody who tasted that dressing got sick.
You've been dressing shock therapy went through you. Yeah. But that was just bad cooking.
It was dressing poison. And I decided at that point that there was no need for this foolishness to continue.
No, that's just because you allowed somebody to bring. See, what the problem is, your household does not serve dressing on a regular basis. And you allowed a non-dressing maker. Look, okay, let me explain something to you. Most families have the dressing maker in the family, right? That person's making the dressing. Everybody can't make the dressing. Right? There's some people that dressing too dry, it's too wet, it's too this, it's too that. No,
and it's dry. It tastes like a big old piece of cardboard. It tastes like chewy cardboard. It's terrible. Dressing is horrible.
Whoever made it for you is horrible, sir. But you just go ahead and enjoy your baked chicken. Why don't you just?
I am. And you know what? I hope that everybody else enjoys themselves on their Thanksgiving. And, shout out to my man. Shout out to the Experience Barbershop. Go see Cam the Barber. Make sure you're straight before your holidays comes in. And, man, we're going to send a love and prayer out to my man, Tommy from the Power Rangers. The green and the white ranger's dead. He's dead, y'all. The Power Ranger.
What happened to that? Wow.
Popped himself. Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He powered his own Ranger. He out of there?
Yeah, but he gone.
Oh, man.
He gone.
That's
he gone. And we're praying that they'll find Brittany Griner somewhere, man, because I don't know.
Well, the best part about this now that she's actually not over in, but she's out of the system and she's in an actual prison now. So hopefully they can do this prisoner swap and get her home. That'd be nice.
That will be nice. And the worst thing they could do is probably give her dressing, and then they would try to kill her.
Oh, you're just wrong.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building. And make sure that you're checking us out on Saturdays, 8 to 10 on WGVE. All you got to do is make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the button, follow us, and you'll get all the content. Hey, you know who does it like we do it? Nobody. Nobody. That's why it's the Sizzle.